Hello, writers. This is Mrs. Harding, and we are on lesson 5. We're going to be focusing on word choice and also writing to show, not tell. So by now, I'm hoping you've looked through your narrative and you've found areas that you want to change for word choice. You've replaced some commonly overused words with some more creative, vivid, colorful words. And now we're going to be looking specifically at areas of your narrative that you might want to revise in order to show instead of tell the reader how a character is feeling or thinking. So we're going to look at an example here to better illustrate this strategy. And this is a quick story called The Golden Key. All right, so there are two different versions. I'm going to read aloud to you the first version, and then we will analyze the second version together. All right, so here's version 1 of The Golden Key. On her way to the mountain, Marnie ran into a white goat. The goat ate away a path for Marnie to follow through the forest. Then the goat said goodbye and left Marnie on the mountainside. Marnie cried. Then an eagle flew down and carried Marnie to the top of the mountain. Okay, so it's not that this story is bad. It is very short, but it has some interesting parts to it. However, we could make this much more interesting, much more vivid and detailed, and have the writer, have the reader be much more engaged and pulled into the story by showing a lot of what's going on instead of just directly telling the reader. For example, you might see here that the author in this version directly told the reader, Marnie cried. So that section right there is um, here, I'm going to highlight it. Marnie cried. Okay, here is where the writer just directly told the reader, Marnie cried. So that's better than saying Marnie is sad. That would be even more direct. Marnie is sad. At least here we see that Marnie cried, and that shows us a little bit. But we could even do it even better by showing what's going on with Marnie through some dialogue and some more action. So anyway, let's jump into version 2, and we'll see what you think and if it is more vivid and interesting. So here's version 2. Hello, goat. I am trying to find my way through this murky forest, dark and dense, so that I can save my family's farm. But I cannot find a path on which to walk. Do you think you could help me, please? Follow me, said the white goat. So already right here, we're being pulled into the story through dialogue. We don't even know who the characters are or what's going on or really where they are, except for we know it's a murky, dark, dense forest. We don't even know who's talking here, but we'll find out as we keep reading. But I don't know about you, but for me, I am pulled into a story much more when it starts right away in the action or right away in dialogue instead of a long opening. So maybe that's something to think of for your narrative of how you might want to start it right away with a character talking or right away with some action. Okay, we're going to move on. Marnie followed the goat as he munched a path for her to follow through the forest. So right here, this sentence is similar to how the version up here started. And now we understand that this person is Marnie along with the goat and that they're in a forest, which was mentioned up here as well. But here it's mentioned again. At the end of the forest, he turned to Marnie and said, I can go no further. Good luck on your journey, my friend. With that, the white goat vanished. What a good word there, vanished. Instead of the goat saying goodbye and leaving, and right here, the goat said goodbye and left Marnie. Here we see the goat just vanished. Much more vivid. Marnie began the steep climb up the incline of the dark mountain. Suddenly, it began to rain. The mountainside was slick, and Marnie kept slipping and sliding into the mud and skidding into the mud. She began to weep. Please, please, can someone help me? I must make this trek to the dark castle to save my family's farm. So here, instead of just Marnie saying Marnie cried, we see that Marnie wept, which is a much more vivid word choice. And then the author further shows how Marnie is feeling with this quote here. And there's an explanation of why she's weeping, why she's crying, because she needs to make this journey to save her family's farm. There, before her, appeared a giant white eagle. The bird spread its colossal wings, swooped down from the sky, picked Marnie up, and flew her to the top of the mountain. Oh my word, that is much more vivid and colorful than just saying the eagle flew down and carried Marnie to the top of the mountain. Here, the eagle has colossal wings, which is awesome, right? Colossal is a much more vivid word choice. We just want to highlight colossal, the big, um, meaning big. And then instead of saying that the eagle flew down, like it does up here, the eagle flew down, we see the eagle swooped down. Oh, I keep losing my highlighter. Oh, technology. Let's try that. Nope. Okay, let's see if it'll work now. Here we go. The eagle flew down. Here, the eagle swooped down, picked Marnie up, and flew her to the top of the mountain. Much more vivid and interesting to read. And I'm not sure what's going on in your mind, but when I read the eagle flew down and carried Marnie, I do see an eagle carrying Marnie, but here with its colossal wings and it's swooping down from the sky, I see its wings, huge wings spread out. And I see it swooping like a curved action, flying down from somewhere up high in the sky to pick her up. So I get a much more clear and detailed image in my mind with this one. All right. Thank you for your help, Eagle. Now I must find the golden key, Marnie said. Good luck on your journey, the eagle replied. The obstacles that you have faced are nothing like the ones that lie ahead of you. With that, the eagle flew away. All right, so you're probably noticing that the second version is longer. It's much more detailed and it provides much more vivid imagery for your mind to imagine what's going on in a story than this first version did. And the writer did it mostly just by adding dialogue. I'm sure you've noticed now that this first version has no dialogue at all. It is completely void of any characters talking. It's just the writer directly telling what's going on. Where in this version, it's almost all dialogue with just a few sentences here and there to explain a little bit of what's going on between the characters, like the one character munching a path for the other one to follow through the forest, like you see here. But the great majority of it is dialogue. And that makes the writing much more interesting to read, much clearer, and it pulls the reader into the story much more. So your task now is to read through your narrative again and revise, but this time you're looking for areas that you might have shown, or excuse me, you might have told more what was going on instead of shown it. So there might have been areas where you told the reader directly how a character was feeling or thinking instead of showing it. And you can show it really well through dialogue. So consider having that character say something to another character and having that language be full of vivid, colorful words. All right, good luck. I can't wait to read your narrative.